Is the Sabbath, if why it's not recognized on Saturday instead of Sunday, and if it's commanded by God and not by man, then why would they change it to Sunday?
Okay.
And
all right, let me do that one first because I'll forget the second one by the time we're done there. What's your name, by the way?
Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. Out of the 10 commandments, 9 of them are repeated in the New Testament. The only one that isn't is keep holy the Sabbath. Why? Because what did the Sabbath represent? It represented rest. And who is our rest? Jesus is our rest.
Okay.
So the Sabbath command does not apply anymore. In fact, Paul even says in Colossians chapter 2, don't let anyone tell you have to obey any Sabbath or festival day. Now, we're not saying it's not a good idea to take a day off. We're not saying that. Yeah. We're saying, however, the Sabbath, the official Sabbath from the Old Testament, is not binding on Christians because that's Old Covenant. And as the writer of Hebrews says in Hebrews 8:13, the Old Covenant is obsolete.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Oh, did you hear that? Many of the Israelites consented to the king of Greece's religion. Go ahead, D.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
And profaned the Sabbath, just like you damn Christians do today. You profane the Sabbath by not keeping the Sabbath. You buy, you sell, you do all the things you're not supposed to do on the Sabbath.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Crushing Christian Views. This is the show where we do exactly what it's called. We crush Christian views. Now, we don't necessarily address comments on the shorts because we know that many of you Christians, you make comments on the shorts without even watching the video because you have short attention spans. That's why TikTok works for you. So, there is a little Christian, frail little punk who has something to say about the letter J in the word nigger. In the Bible dictionary, we read in the last video that N-I-G-E-R is pronounced nigger. And we're going to show you that from my phone here. We're going to show you, let's see, Strong's Concordance. Now the Strong's Concordance, I don't usually use. A lot of biblical scholars use the Strong's Concordance. I don't, but for the sake of this argument, for the little frail Christian punk that left a little comment without even watching the video, we're going to show you something here. So let's go to the Strong's Concordance, and we're going to put in the word N-I-G-E-R. All right, let's see. So, according to Strong's Concordance, the word N-I-G-E-R is pronounced nigger.
Strong's G 3526. Niger.
Not Niger. Not what's the other?
Niger.
Not Niger. It's pronounced nigger, and they spell it N-E-E-G-E-R. That's from the Strong's Concordance. Now, we're gonna go into, if you can get that for me, D. We're gonna show you that, thank you, sir. We're gonna show you that your argument is moot because in the Bible dictionary, next to N-I-G-E-R, nigger, is the word black. If you ask anyone, what does N-I-G-G-E-R mean, nigger, they'll say it pertains to a black person. So does the word N-I-G-E-R, which only has one G, it's pronounced the same way. But your slave master told you it was pronounced Niger. And your argument is in parentheses next to the word Niger in the Bible dictionary, it has the letter J. Well, let's read about the letter J and see if it existed during biblical times. It says here, it had come into Greek from the late Hebrew or Aramaic Yeshua, which was a common name for Jewish boys at the time of Jesus' birth. The letter J didn't exist yet at the time. It wasn't invented until the 16th century. So you were wrong on that, you frail little Christian. So we thought we'd get that out of the way. Thank you, D. What's next? What are we doing next?
All right.
Oh, we're going to address a couple of comments on people who actually watched the video and see what happens here. Let's do it.
All right. So this first comment is on the Who Are the Israelites Continued video. And this is from Nini Jalea 6936. Her first comment is, your theology is deficient. How can you read these verses not for context, but to prove that you are Israelites from single words used out these verses? And she put a question.
I don't get that. She said, how could I use the scripture? And
she said, how can you read these verses not for context, but to prove that you are Israelites from single words use out these verses?
Yeah, I don't know if you have poor comprehension skills, but in bad grammar, okay. In every book of the Bible, from Genesis to Revelations, which also includes the Apocrypha, it is clear who the Israelites are. They're the people who would go into slavery on slave ships. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
All right, so the second comment is from the same woman, Nini Jalea, 6936. She put, regardless of him being bold, he was a chosen prophet of God. What is your point? You said shaving is equal to lost your glory.
Shaving is equal to lost your glory.
That's what she put.
Yeah, so let's touch on that shaving thing for it. The Bible clearly says that a man is not supposed to shave his beard and he's not supposed to shave his head. If you watch the videos and you pay attention, you would know that. So, what's next?
Oh, and then the last comment from the same woman. She commented 3 times.
She must like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She put, get a grip on your theology first before coming out in public so deceived.
Yeah, so when you're ready to teach, we implore you to come on the show, Crushing Christian Views, and straighten me out. But I'm willing to bet you can't do that because you're not smart enough to do that. You don't know the scriptures. So why try to argue something you don't know? You haven't given us anything in your comments. Who's next? Anybody else?
All right, so
These Christians are stupid.
So this is from the Cornelius video.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Take
All
your
right,
time.
so the first comment is from 12 tribes, 7 churches. He put up the Bible verse Acts 10:28, which says, and he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But God hath showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Then he put 3 question marks.
Yeah, so God told him not to call any man common or unclean because the northern kingdom of Israel was living outside of Jerusalem and the southern kingdom of Judah was living in Jerusalem, keeping God's commandments. The northern kingdom of Israel was living in places like Caesarea and Rome and all these other places, and they weren't keeping the commandments. As far as Cornelius is concerned, Cornelius was keeping the commandments, and that's why he sent men to meet with, was it Peter he sent men to meet with? Yeah, this is why he sent men to meet with Peter. So,
all right, I'm going to read
Oh, a matter of fact, let me read something real quick to these dum-dums out here. We're going to read the definition of Gentiles. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay. Gentiles, in the Bible dictionary on page 195, it says, Gentiles, listen closely, I know your attention span is very short. Listen closely, you black Christians. Gentiles, usually it means a non-Israelite people. Under conditions of peace, considerate treatment was accorded. Under conditions of peace, considerate treatment was accorded Gentiles by the Israelites under Old Testament law. And then it has Deuteronomy 10:19, Ezekiel 47:22. Men of Israel often married Gentile women, of whom Rahab, Ruth, and Bathsheba are notable examples. But the practice was frowned upon after the return from exile. So Gentiles usually meant a non-Israelite people. The reason why it says usually, because sometimes Israelites were called Gentiles when they weren't keeping the commandments and living in other parts of the land outside of Jerusalem. Okay?
All right, so this is another one on the same video, the Cornelius video.
Mm-hmm.
This is from Trisha Perry, MZ7TC.
Mm-hmm.
She put, no, it wasn't. They were not all Israelites. Paul was a Roman. Most of them were not Israelites. Why do he look like that? What is wrong with these men over here?
Why do we look like what? Handsome? Is that what it is? Anyway, let's get, matter of fact, let's pull up KJV, Romans 11. Now, she said that he wasn't a Israelite.
They said he was a Roman.
He was a Roman. Paul. Okay. This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse... Verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
She ain't got nothing to say.
Paul said that.
Paul says this.
that. She ain't got nothing to say.
I'm going to read it for you again, young lady.
Trisha.
This is a woman, right?
Yeah, Trisha.
I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite, of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. Paul is an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. Next.
You should probably read that verse where God says that women are supposed to be silent in the church.
Okay, let's do that, because this is why women aren't supposed to teach the scriptures, because you don't know what you're talking about. All right, let's pull that up.
Killed that argument right there with one verse.
And also there was one of our viewers had already destroyed this young woman on that, but we thought we double destroy you. All right, let's see. We're gonna show you why you're not supposed to teach, young lady. Let's pull up 1 Corinthians chapter 14. We'll start at verse 34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. Shh. But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law, which is not going away. The law is not going away. I know you Christians say it is. And you're right if you're talking about the law of sacrifice. It went away. All the other laws are still in place. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. Now stop right there. We know most black women don't have husbands. because you hate black men. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in church. And right now, that's what we're having. We're having church. With 2 or more gathered in my name, so shall I be. Well, there's more than 2 men in this room. So this is church. Shh, keep your mouth shut. What's next?
Well, this is the last comment, and shout out to Myron R7. He put, great teaching, I liked and subscribed.
Okay, great. We're glad you see Myron, right?
Yep,
Myron, you're a brilliant guy, because obviously you're listening to the videos. You're not watching a short and trying to make a comment off of a 10-second short. You have to watch the full video, and obviously that's what you're doing, and you understand what's going on because you're an intelligent, spiritual person. Thank you, Myron. Appreciate that.
Hopefully you're Israelite.
Yeah, I assume he's an Israelite. Let's see what else we got going on. Okay, so we're gonna go into the lesson, because we know none of you Christians understand when you read in Galatians, there's neither Jew nor Greek. Well, we're gonna prove to you that the Greeks, when they were in power, they took the northern kingdom of Israel into slavery, into captivity, and therefore they became Greeks. Although they were Israelites, they were Greek citizens in captivity. So we're going to go into the book of Maccabees, First Maccabees, and we're going to see what we're going to start with. First Maccabees. Let me pull it up real quick. First Maccabees. Okay. So we're going to go into the book of Maccabees, which is in the Apocrypha, which is in the 1611 King James Bible. Those of you who have a King James Bible and it doesn't have the Apocrypha in it, that particular King James Bible is the Bible your oppressor took the Apocrypha out of. So when you were a young kid and you were told that there were missing books of the Bible, the Apocrypha are the missing books. And the Maccabees is in the Apocrypha. And the Maccabees is going to give you an example of why in Galatians in the New Testament, it says there's neither Jew nor Greek. Why does it say that? Matter of fact, let's read that first. Go to, I think it's Galatians 3:28. Let's go to that. Galatians 3:28. KJV, Galatians 3.
All right. This is Galatians chapter 3, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
There is neither Jew nor Greek.
Mm-hmm.
There is neither bond nor free.
Okay, so there's neither bond nor free. Why does it say that? Go ahead, D.
There is neither male nor female.
Why does it say there's neither male nor female when we know that there are males and we know that there are females? We know that there are bondmen and we know that there are free men. Go ahead, D.
For ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
Why are we all one in Christ Jesus? What God is doing in these last days is he's bringing the northern kingdom of Israel back with the southern kingdom of Judah. The men in this room would be considered the southern kingdom. Did I say the southern kingdom of Judah, the northern kingdom of Israel? The men in this room are considered men of the southern kingdom of Judah. People in the Dominican Republic and Cuba and Puerto Rico, Venezuela, those places where they speak Spanish, black people speak Spanish, they would be considered the northern kingdom of Israel. And so God's whole plan is to bring us together because right now we still think we're different people. You understand that, you black and Latino Christians? All right, read that one more time, D.
This is Galatians chapter 3, verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Christ Jesus.
So is God saying that there's no more males and no more females, you dummies? No, that's not what he's saying, Christian dummies. Read verse 29.
All right. This is Galatians chapter 3, verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
And if ye be Christ, then are ye Abraham's seed, and heirs according to the promise.
We are heirs according to the promise. So now we're going to go into the Maccabees. Let's see. First Maccabees, we're going to start at the top. Yeah.
All right, so this is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1.
Listen closely, you black Christians that don't know anything.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim,
Mm-hmm.
had smitten Darius, king of the Persians, and
Medes. Mm-hmm.
that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
The first over Greece. So this is when Greece came into power. Go ahead, D.
Verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
So Alexander the Great, because that's what they called him when I was growing up in school. They called him Alexander the Great, and made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth. So Alexander the Great went around destroying everybody. Go ahead, D.
Verse 3, and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him,
Mm-hmm.
whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 4, and he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
And who became tributaries unto him. So what does that mean, tributaries? He made all the countries that he defeated pay taxes to him. This is the beginning of taxes as well. Go ahead.
Verse 5, and after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
Go ahead.
Verse 6, wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Verse 7, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Go ahead, D.
Verse 8, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place.
Go ahead.
Verse 9, and after his death they all put crowns upon themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
And evils were multiplied on the earth when the so-called white man, Alexander the Great, and his servants after him came into power. Evil was multiplied on the earth. How come it doesn't say that about when the Egyptians were in power? Or when the Babylonians were in power? Or when the Persians and the Medes were in power? When the Greeks came into power, evils were multiplied on the earth. Go ahead, D.
Verse 10, and there came out of them a wicked root,
Antiochus,
surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king,
mm-hmm.
who had been a hostage at Rome.
Mm.
And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Of the kingdom of the Greeks, because they have destroyed all the nations around them. Go ahead.
Verse 11, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Wicked men out of Israel. Our people, just like today, you black Christians, you're wicked Israelites. I know you hate being called. You don't understand. What's wrong with being an Israelite when Israelites are the people that God says he's coming to save?
Because you don't include Esau.
Because we don't include, where's that book? Here, right here. Because the Edomites are not included, you don't want to be an Israelite because the white man is not included. Go ahead, D.
I'll start over.
Yep.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Let us go and make a covenant with the so-called white man, the Greeks who are in power. Go ahead.
That are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
So the Israelites are complaining that since they departed from the people in power, they've had much sorrow. Okay, let's finish this.
Verse 12. So this device pleased them well.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
So that's what the Christian pastors, the black Christian pastors, do today. They have a license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. The Christian pastors have these licenses to do that. Go ahead, D.
Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem.
That's where gymnasiums come from. The word gymnasium is a Greek word, and by the way, it means naked. That's why when you go to a gym, you see these women all in there. That's actually literally what the word translates to, naked. Gymnasium means naked. This is where sports got started. Before the Greeks, black people didn't do sports. The Greeks started sports. Start that again, D.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
According to the customs of the white man who was ruling in Greece. You understand that, you black Christians? Go ahead, D.
Verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised.
Stop right there. And made themselves uncircumcised. How did they make themselves uncircumcised if they're already circumcised, you stupid Christians? How do you make yourself uncircumcised when you're already circumcised? This goes into the northern kingdom of Israel, who separated themselves by going into captivity under the Greeks. They became uncircumcised. They became what we call Gentiles. You stupid Christians. Go ahead.
And forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief.
Joined themselves, the northern kingdom joined themselves to the heathen. Do you understand that? Go ahead, D.
Verse 16. Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt, that he might have the dominion of 2 realms.
So he wanted to reign over Egypt as well. I mean, the Greeks were power hungry. They wanted to rule the whole earth. Go ahead, D.
Verse 17. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy.
Go ahead.
Verse 18. And made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt. But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death.
Alexander's people, his servants who became kings, who parted the land and became kings. These guys were, by the way, Alexander the Great was a homosexual.
Yep.
And these homosexuals were tough. I mean, they were taking over nations. Anyway, go ahead.
Verse 19. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof.
And he took the spoils thereof in Egypt from the Africans. Arabs was not running Egypt at the time. The Africans, the Hamites were. Go ahead, D.
Verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year, and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
So he went up against the southern kingdom of Judah. That's what it means by went up against Israel and Jerusalem. The northern kingdom of the northern kingdom of Israel and the southern kingdom of Judah. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And entered proudly into the sanctuary, and took away the golden altar, and the candlestick of light, and all the vessels thereof.
Okay, 22.
Verse 22. And the table of the shewbread, and the pouring vessels, and the vials, and the censers of gold, and the veil, and the crown, and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off.
Okay. So these are all the spoils that they took from the Israelites. Let me see, because I don't want to go into reading all about the spoils. We want to keep on point.
You understand, you black and Latino Christians?
Do you understand what we read so far? If you don't, rewind the tape.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 29. And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came into Jerusalem with a great multitude.
So again, where it says chief collector of tribute means we have to pay taxes. Now, a friend of mine was arguing about taxes is something that we need to keep the country moving like clockwork, but that's not true, because before Greece came into power, the world made things move like clockwork via trade. You didn't have to pay taxes. Taxes is a white man's game. Okay? Let's see. Let's go to. Let's read verse 31.
All right. It's First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire and pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side.
So he set the city on fire. Go ahead, D.
Verse 32. But the women and children took they captive and possessed the captive.
So they took the women and children captive. I'm sure that don't make any of you independent, strong black Christian women mad at all, right? And they also possessed the cattle. Let's read verse 33.
Verse 33. Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall, and with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them.
Okay, let's see.
Read verse 34.
You know what? Go to verse 43.
All right. It's First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 43.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Oh, did you hear that? Many of the Israelites consented to the king of Greece's religion. Go ahead, D.
And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
And profaned the Sabbath, just like you damn Christians do today. You profane the Sabbath by not keeping the Sabbath. You buy, you sell, you do all the things you're not supposed to do on the Sabbath. Go ahead, next verse.
Verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
That they should follow the strange laws of the land. Just like we follow strange laws in this country. I mean, now you go into a restaurant now here in America, and there's not all restaurants and stores and venues, but like a lot of places, instead of having a men's restroom and a women's restroom, now they're unisex. In fact, I walked into a place of business recently, opened the door to the restroom, and there was a sister standing there on her phone, and I was like, oh, sorry. She's like, oh, it's okay. And I was like, man, she could have been in there, forgot to lock the door, and I could have walked in on her while she was doing her business. This is not a good thing. Read that again, D.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 44. For the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
The strange laws of the land. Let's see. Let's go to 47. Let's go to 47.
First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 47. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
And sacrifice swine's flesh, because you black Christians, you love pork. You love pork. Read that again.
It's First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 47. Set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
Unclean swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So God is saying that pork is an unclean beast. What? How come you don't understand that? Do you know lately they found parasites in these pigs that you black Christians be barbecuing on your Sunday, whatever holidays? Okay, let's see. What's next?
That's what killed Big Mama.
That's what killed Big Mama.
Soul Food.
Oh, that's from that movie. Okay, yeah. Which was
It contributed to her diabetes.
Which contributed to her diabetes. And you all saw Soul Food, did you not? Verse 48.
All right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 48. That they shall also leave their children uncircumcised, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable.
Abominable with all manner of uncleanness and
Profanation.
profanation.
Yeah, profane. So during the reign of the Greeks, they wanted Israelites to no longer circumcise their children. They wanted them to remain uncircumcised so that they could be, what's the word I'm looking for? So that they could be milded in, if you will, with the Greeks. That's how they became Gentiles. That's how they became Gentiles, because they had to assimilate. That's the word I was looking for. They had to assimilate into the Greek culture, thus becoming Gentiles. You understand that, you black Christians, you Latino Christians? Go ahead.
Verse
49. Yeah.
To the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
To the end that we would forget the law of God, and change all the ordinances. That's exactly what that's saying. Let's see. Verse 50.
Verse 50. And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
Notice it says, and whosoever. We explained to y'all in other videos that anytime you see the term whosoever, it's referring to Israelites. So in this verse, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he's talking about Israelites, because we didn't want to do what the king of Greece wanted us to do. He said he should die. They wanted to kill us. Just like here in the year 2024 in America, they're passing laws, hate speech laws, so that you can't teach the Bible because it speaks against Jewish people. You understand that, black Christians? We know you're scared, right? We know you're afraid. Go ahead, D.
Verse 51. In the selfsame manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseers over all the people, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city.
Commanding the cities of Judah, that would be our people, the Jews, commanding the cities of Judah to sacrifice city by city. Sacrifice what? They want us to sacrifice to their idols. That's all that means. Let's see. Man, we might as well just keep destroying y'all with this one chapter.
Verse 58.
Yeah.
Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month do as many as were found in the cities.
Thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the sea. So wherever they found the Israelites, they would do their Greek nastiness to them. Okay, next verse.
Verse 59. Now the 25th day of the month, they did sacrifice upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of God.
Verse 60.
Verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women.
They put to death certain women. You hear that, you independent, strong black women? They put sisters to death. Go ahead.
That had caused their children to be circumcised.
Because there were sisters who weren't afraid they were going to get their sons circumcised anyway. And these women, these sisters, were put to death. Now, in these last days, there's some brave sisters out there that's riding with us. But the rest of you independent black queens. Anyway, let's go.
Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks.
Stop. They hanged the infants about their necks. So, a few videos ago, we were telling you that Jesus was hanged on a tree. That's all through the Bible. You black Christians disagree with that, and you keep arguing he was hanged on some type of cross. No, he was hanged on a tree because all throughout history, we've been hanged on trees. And you see in this verse, they even hanged our little babies. Read that again, D.
This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them.
And slew them that had circumcised. So when the sisters got their kids circumcised, the sisters were hanged. The babies who were circumcised, the black babies, that's right. The black babies were hanged. If the fathers was there, they were hanged. Okay. I'm sure that doesn't bother you Christians, though. Go ahead.
Verse 62.
Mm-hmm.
Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Verse 63.
Verse 63. Wherefore they rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant, so then they die.
Did you hear that? Wherefore they rather to die. So the Israelites would rather die than profane themselves with defiled meats like pork. Read that again, D.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 63.
The English is a little broken, but you understand what's going on. Go ahead, D.
Wherefore they rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant, so then they die.
These were Israelites who had no intention of profaning God's holy covenant. Last verse.
Verse 64. And there was very great wrath upon Israel.
Very great wrath upon Israel. Listen, folks. There's always been a great wrath upon the black man and black woman. In these days, unfortunately, a lot of black women, they feel like, hey, I got it easy. Matter of fact, I'm about to read that. We're going to read about you sisters that's got it easy. Just give me 1 second.
And that English is not broken. You niggas understand it.
Yeah, you understand it. You know what's being said.
You black and Latinos understand fully.
Yep. Watch this. Sisters, this is well, not sisters, but the independent black queens. This is a prophecy about you in these last days. Watch this. Give me 1 second. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. What is the speech? The speech is to keep the commandments. But according to God, you're at ease in these last days. That's why it's easy to say, I don't need a man. We got all the college degrees.
I'm a boss bee.
I'm a boss bee. We run in circles around the black man. God said you would be at ease. Let's read something else about you. Watch this. Oh my God. Go ahead.
What was that verse again?
That was Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9.
Okay.
Yep. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 9. We're also going to read about real quick that the reason why there's a such thing as passport bros. Now, the passport bros, the brothers that are in this organization, they may not be wise as to why they're leaving the country. But the prophets here in this room, we're going to tell you why they're leaving this country. Watch this. Give me 1 second. Okay. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12. This is about you, independent black woman. God says in Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee, because we're led by the black woman. Remember, you said you're the backbone of the black community, and that you're more educated, and that you're leading the black men. Listen closely. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy past. Now, it says that you rule over our children. How do you destroy the way of our past? Because if I'm teaching my kids not to eat shrimp because it's an abominable thing, and God says that which is abominable will not enter the kingdom of heaven, and you're telling our kids, forget what your dad say, you can eat shrimp. Well, this applies to you, independent black woman. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, They which lead thee, because you lead us, you're the head of the black community. You said that yourself. They which lead thee cause thee to err. It calls us to make errors and destroy the way of thy paths. That's it, independent black woman.
Because you don't keep the commandments.
You don't keep the commandments. And you're willing to sacrifice your own children into the lake of fire because you want to have your fake, long, stringy, damn hair so that when you step out in the air, it blows in the wind like a white woman. And you want your I don't know if this book, watch this. These are eyelashes. These are how big your eyelashes are. This has got to stop. Anyway, what else we got, D?
They want the long Godzilla claws.
You want the long God. Now, how do you use the bathroom with those things? See, I don't care if y'all get mad at me. I don't give a damn. I don't care if y'all get mad at me. Y'all can hate me. I don't care. Only thing I care about is waking up our people who want to get in the kingdom. You all don't want the kingdom. You want this kingdom, America's kingdom. You want the Greeks' kingdom, the Romans' kingdom. That's what this is. America is the Greeks and the Romans' kingdom. It ain't the Israelites' kingdom. What else we got?
Black and Latino Christians, when you hate the prophets, you hate God.
When you hate the prophets, you hate God. When you make insults to the prophets, you're insulting God. I know you don't want to believe that, but it's true. And much more can be said on that, but anything?
I'm stunned today because I'm gonna be honest with you, I never heard of First Maccabees until today, and this was
that scripture, that verse in Isaiah.
Yeah,
about
this
women being at ease. That was my first time hearing that.
The women are at ease.
Very eye-opening. I actually learned a lot today. I'm reading this myself. I said, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This is what we gotta, because I remember at one time I was like, when I was growing up, I was always hearing there was missing books out of the Bible. I was like, what are these missing books? And now we know it's the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is the missing books in the 1611 King James Bible.
Now it started to make sense why these wicked Christian pastors are telling people to stop reading the King James Bible
altogether.
And I think there's a county in Florida, we can research it. There's a county in Florida that just outlawed the King James Bible. They didn't outlaw the NIV or the ESV or all these other stupid versions, but they outlawed this one. There's a reason why they did that.
And you black and Latino Christian, you gotta ask yourself, why don't they want y'all learning this information?
Why they don't want you to learn this information? Here's a good question. When our people were brought here in slavery, they beat and whipped us and said, you're no longer Kunta Kinte, you're Toby. Why was it so important for us to forget who we were? Why? All the Chinese people in America still have Chinese last names. All the Arabs in America still have Arabic last names. All the East Indians in America still have East Indian last names. Why are black people the only ones with the same names as the oppressor?
Even our Israelite Mexican brothers, they still keep their last name.
They still keep their last name.
We the only ones.
Judah,
the Spanish last names are from the Spanish.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Our Spanish brothers do have the last names of their
Cortez,
oppressors.
Miguel, all that.
Yeah, that's the oppressor. That's true.
names.
Yeah, that's true. That was something else I was gonna bring out. See, you independent black queens, you have the same. You know what? One more verse. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. You have the same spirit as Eve. So we're gonna read.
Which verse?
You know what? I said 1. Let's go to Genesis 2. Let me see. Let's pull it up real quick. KJV, Genesis 2.
They got the same spirit of these warmongers.
Now, I never paid attention to this when I would hear these verses out of Genesis when I was younger. I never paid attention to it, but well, let me read this real quick, D. Genesis 2, chapter. Genesis 2, verse. Because a lot of people don't know why women are called woman. Oh, I'm going to read the definition for you right here. Genesis 2, verse 23. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. So you're called woman because you were taken out of man. So when women brag about, I carried the baby for 9 months and man come from me, no, God says you came from us. So
I do think in a future video, because I've heard a lot of Christians say, well, Eve wasn't Adam's first wife, it was actually Lilith.
Lilith?
Yeah.
Where's that from, the book of Enoch? Listen, folks, the book of Enoch, the book of Jasher is garbage. That's why the experts on Hebrew and Greek didn't put Enoch and Jasher in the Bible, because Enoch is garbage. The book it is, not Enoch in the Bible, but the book of Enoch is garbage. This is what I wanted to get to about Eve. You independent black queens, you have the spirit of Eve, and this is what's going on. Let me show you this. Genesis 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Now watch what the woman says. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden. Verse 3, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So Eve already knows what's going on. That's why she repeated this to the serpent. Let's read further. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die, for God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened. Here's the point. And ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Verse 6, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Now, people are going to say, well, it's Adam's fault because he didn't check Eve. Adam already knew what the score was. He didn't check Eve. But Eve, after telling the serpent what the score was, and the serpent said to her, this is the key point, and ye shall be as gods. Eve wanted to be a god, just like the so-called independent black queen today. She wants to be a god. You can't be a god. Only a man can be a god. Okay, you understand that? You black queens with your giant eyelashes. I don't give a damn if y'all butt hurt. I don't care. It's time for this culture that we're living in Babylon the Great here in America. It's time for us to kill this culture. And for those of you out there arguing about reparations, what is reparations going to do for you? How is reparations going to move the needle forward for black people? You don't care that it moves the needle forward for black people. You're still telling your children that their daddies ain't nothing, that their daddies hate them. That's what you teach your children. Well, look, on that note, y'all got anything? But we're going to end it on that note. We want to say shalom, and we thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Shalom.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Sorry about that. Like, comment, and subscribe.
And donate to the Cash App if you like.
And donate to the Cash App if you like. Shalom, brothers and sisters.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.